Way back in 2007, I discovered that gay loneliness took on a completely different shape upon coming out when I went to a university. So, like many LGBTQ plus people have done and are probably still doing, I left my rural hometown in northern Michigan with this goal of going to a university, pursuing my education, getting a career, and deep down, identity speaking, I knew that they would be my opportunity to finally fit into a community, finally not feel isolated, find a boyfriend, find love, do that idyllic kind of American dream college experience that seems to be ingrained in that type of life, right? And despite my coming out experience being pretty terrible, considering when I got there, a friend who got mad at me outed me to my family. I viewed it as my freedom. I viewed it as, the full circle moment for me where I would finally embrace who I was and kind of do away with that gay loneliness that I had experienced way out in the middle of nowhere in the forest, right? Of my hometown. Well, long story short, gay loneliness took on a whole another form because my young little naive self at that time did not fully realize that the gay community itself harbored a lot of different things to navigate through, whether it be internalized, toxic masculinity, like very toxic aesthetic standards, like regarding body image, so on and so forth. And at that time, like, my aesthetic was way different. I was kind of like this long-haired, gothy, punky nerd, and I had this dream that, like, I would find a boyfriend, somebody would find me attractive, and they didn't. I remember, like, I would often, like, go on dates, and then I would have guys days later be like, sorry, you're not my type, I'm not attracted to you, I don't like your long hair, you're too thin, you're too fat, I don't like your voice. My voice was a bit higher when I was in college, and people tended to really, like, hate that a lot. And it was a huge point of insecurity for me. If you go back to my really old videos from like 2011, you'll see some of those. But I did end up experiencing some relationships like kind of midway through college, like late college. But I would say like my first 2 years, like I spent all of my college experience just feeling just as isolated as I had when I lived in northern rural Michigan, out in the middle of nowhere. And the truth is, like, I do think that the gay community itself and the interdynamics within it can exasperate gay loneliness as a whole. I think that we can that we often take pre existing gay loneliness and just amplify it by the way that we treat each other, by the way that we are very cliquey, by the way that we kind of let ourselves get overwhelmed and dictated to by these like different standards, like with regard to body image, different standards with regard to the inner trauma that we all harbor, like that internalized toxic masculinity, so on and so forth. Obviously, fast forward to now, it's been horrifying to think almost 20 years since I was when I first entered university, since I came out, and I feel so much better with myself now. I feel like I have found like an aesthetic that I am happy with. I feel much more confident. I have found someone. I feel like I'm in a great place. The kind of like the specter of gay loneliness still kind of lingers in the back of my mind because I think when you experience it for so long, it doesn't go away. Like it's something that is still there, or at least the fear of experiencing it again, right? And I think that so long as we're able to have these conversations and so long as we're able to be vigilant with, navigating through gay loneliness and identifying points where like internally in our community we exacerbate it, I think that we have the potential to make it a lot better for, people who are now coming out and coming to terms with who they are and finding self-actualization and self-acceptance. So anyway, share your thoughts in the comment section below. Again, I'm really enjoying continuing this conversation about gay loneliness, mental health, etc. because I feel like there is a space for that conversation, and I feel like that many people, whether they admit it or not, have had some sort of battle with it along their journey. So, anyway, click like, subscribe, and thank you so much for the support.